just stuck out was his team hadn't really gone through any adversity together, and it seemed like it kind of stunned you guys in that first matchup. And so to go back there and have some tough losses, go through the UTSA one, and be able to come together as a team, how much do you think that'll help if the times get tough in Oxford this time?
I mean, this definitely go play in our advantage. Just the experiences that we had, just going through what we've been through. We really molded together. So just falling back on our training, falling back on each other, really go help us. Push us. To get this game.
And we talked about you playing tackle in that game. That the O-line didn't, really do that poorly in the game. And so, how much confidence does it give you guys to really be able to go into this full strength in your correct positions this time?
I mean, we know our matchups and stuff like that. We were down last game. Down left tackle and stuff like that. So we're back 100%. So. Just not being 100% last time, and actually, having all our elements there, we definitely highly confident, and just confident in the matchup we have.
You just heard right here in the back. You just heard Craddock talk about it, but just your perspective of how the run game has been able to come on and everything late into the season.
What you asked that question?
Just your perspective of how the run game has been able to come on later throughout the season, just grown over the year.
Yeah, just looking at from the jump, it wasn't really there at first. So, then we move on later on throughout the season. We had Jamar really really popped off, in the later half of the season. So, just having him, having Jake, be able to tote it too. So that's just really, been really helped elevate our run game. And also just producing off of it.
There's enough motivation already with wanting to win a playoff game, right? But the fact that game against Ole Miss went the way it did, does that add extra fuel to the fire going into this game?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, it's our redemption. That wasn't us that went out there and played last time. So we gotta go advance. Who we are. Show the world who we really are.
And as said, Jake had just got here essentially at that point. Like, how much has he grown since then, and how much has the chemistry of the offense as a whole grown since that point?
I mean, as you can see, just looking at the numbers, how we played, moving throughout the season, you can see we really molded together, and really just stuck together, and just continue playing for each other, just fighting for the guy next of us.
Shadre, what does it mean to you that Summerall continues to invest into the program even as he's going to depart at the end of the year?
I mean, it means everything. We came this far, so we got to finish the job. You can't come this far just to quit and just fall down. You gotta finish. So I'm extremely happy. That's just a lot. It says a lot on his character. He starts something, you gotta finish it.
And what do you feel like is the biggest difference in Jamari from, say, the beginning of the year until now?
I mean, I would say just his confidence, just knowing him knowing his ability, like that he can, go out here and compete. I can play to this level with these guys. He just brought a different confidence throughout the season. So that's what I would say is main thing.
All good?